For a shelter in place amid a shooting situation was frightening for a lot of people around Cloquet. Northern News Now's Madison Green went to Cloquet earlier today and joins us in studio. You heard from some folks who really jumped into action.
Yeah, Dan, just 2 minutes away from the scene was a hockey arena that was filled with young athletes last night. I spoke to facility manager Justin Harriman, who credits law enforcement for helping keep what could have been a very chaotic scene calm and controlled. Less than a half-mile away from the Cloquet Super 8, 200 to 300 people attended youth hockey practices and games Monday night at the Northwoods Credit Union Arena. That's when the news of the shooting first broke.
One of our members actually reached out right away, Chief Randall, wanting us to shelter in place.
They immediately locked the doors and cleared people out of the lobby, away from the windows, and brought them into the ice, where the remaining 10 minutes of the game were allowed to conclude.
We have one of our board members who's worked with the Carleton County Sheriff's Department. He actually parked his squad out front here as well. And so getting information directly from him, everybody was very positive and responsive to it, and we didn't have anybody that was giving us any problems.
The arena was in lockdown for a total of 45 minutes, but Haley Riley with the Human Development Center in Cloquet says any amount of time spent in those stressful conditions can leave a lasting impact.
Especially for children, though. I mean, they're not fully understanding what's happening around them, so not having that security and stability can be really, really scary.
The Cloquet HDC is offering free walk-in mental health services for anyone who needs someone to talk to after this tragedy.
So this sort of situation in the community, it not only impacts those that are directly involved, but it can create a ripple effect. Cloquet is such a close-knit community, and something like this, it's important for our community to come together.
Communicating to get through.
It was very calm. Yeah, it was very calm. And like I said, I think that comes down to the communication that our law enforcement did for us, and they kept us kind of posted and updated.
And now to move forward. In Cloquet, Madison Green, Northern News Now. The Human Development Center in Cloquet is accepting walk-in appointments as long as the community needs. The building is open Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. We have more information on how to contact them on our website, northernnewsnow.com.
Thank you, Madison. There is help available for those struggling following the incident. The local chapter of the Red Cross is offering assistance. We have their number on your screen there. The Cloquet Human Development Center is offering free emotional support. They're located near Cloquet Avenue and 11th Street. We also have their crisis line on your screen. You can find both agencies' contact information on our website, northernnewsnow.com.